Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to talk about how to achieve content filtering in Spring Boot application. We have a API which will provide us a list of student information. Okay, so if you take a look at the student output response, we have the student ID, first name, last name and the email. But normally when we are sending a response back to the client, we won't send all the information. For example, student ID which is pretty much belongs to a database. There is no need for us to send the student ID in the response. So to filtering this kind of a response, we have two different types of way. The first one is static filter and second one is a dynamic filter. Let's talk about the static filter and then we'll move on to the dynamic filter. Step 1, let's go back to our application, and first thing which we need to do, add this dependency JSON data format XML. So this is the one which will send a different format of response back to the client, right, after they filter the data. So let's go back to the code. Let's have a look at the student. So this is a method which we are using for retrieving all the students, correct? And this is the additive which we are using. So now what we need to do? So there are multiple ways to implement the static filter itself. You can apply on the specific field or you can apply over the class. Let's try in a normal way. So just in case if you don't want to send the student ID, all you need to do, just add the JSON ignore property. The moment you provide JSON ignore property, this will not send back in the response. And the similar way there is other approach as well. Let's say you have a multiple properties which you need to hide from the clients. So it's not hide, not sending to the clients. You can use this annotation JSON ignore properties, and here what you can do is you can provide the values in the array. So the first one which I'm talking about is a student ID. So the same value I'm passing it here as well. So this is also same and this also same. How you're gonna implement, that's up to you. Let's use this way. So what is the drawback of implementing in this way? The problem is whenever you modify the attribute name, or the variable name, you have to make a change here. But normally we won't modify the attribute names or variable names. Let's implement this way. So now I just made a small change. Let's start our application and go back to the Postman and we'll see how it is impacting our application. So let's start it one more. Let's stop it first and then start it one more time. Start a service. Application starter. Let's go back to the Postman and then hit the same request. The earlier response which contained the student ID. Now I'm gonna hit send again. See what happened. First name, last name and email. So that is what we are expecting. Just in case if you want to not send multiple fields, what you can do, for example, if you don't want to send the last name as well, you can provide the JSON ignore properties here, or you can include this last name here as a second value. Okay, so what is the drawback of this? There is a drawback. The thing is, the student, this is a DTO, it might be used by multiple methods. In our student controller, we have two methods, and the first method which is using the student to retrieve all the information. So whenever we are calling this method, it will ignore the student ID and the last name, it will give us the response back. But think about the scenario. In the later point of time, somebody else trying to write another method based on the student, and if they want to get all the response back, but they will not get it because we implemented the logic over the class. So this is a kind of a hard coding validation or hard coding filtering. So this is not the efficient way of handling the filtering. So this is called as a static filtering. So we can modify this with the help of a dynamic filter. Right? So now what we're gonna do? We're gonna implement the dynamic filter. So what I'm gonna do, let's comment this line out. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna implement the same logic with the dynamic filter. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to the controller and let's write a new method here. Let's maximize it here. I'm gonna write another method to apply the filter. So I'm gonna write as a get mapping method. Get mapping, and maybe let's call them as a filter one. Okay, so here is the deal. This is going to be a public method, and return type we have to provide, but for now I'm going to keep it as a void, and I'm going to create a method name called filter1. Okay, so basically what we are trying to do, first we need to get all the student information, which we can get it using this method. List of student is equal to list equal, either you can call this or you can simply call the get student method, but let's do this. Okay, so now I have the list of students. So the next thing what we need to do is we need to create a filter. It's a dynamic filter. So we're gonna use the simple bean property filter, which will help us to avoid some fields, and we can provide what are the elements I need to provide in the response. Okay, so we can use simple bean property filter. So I'm gonna create a name as a filter. Okay, here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create simple bean property filter, and then we need to call a method called filter out all except. So filter out all except, filter all the elements except the following elements. So what are the elements which we need? So we don't need the user ID, right? But everything else we need. So first thing, we need the first name, and what else we need? We need the last name as well, right? So last name, and then what do we need? We need the email as well. I don't want only the student ID, not to send in the response email. And then yes, now we have the filter ready. So this is just a filter, but we need to add this simple filter into our global filter. The global filter, the class name called is a filter provider. So filter provider, and I'm going to call as a filters. This is the one will handle all the filters. And now what we need to do, create a new simple filter. This implements the simple bean simple filter provider, right? Simple filter provider, and dot, you need to add the filter which you already created, which is nothing but our filters. So this is our filter. That is what we mentioned it here. Okay, but before that, there is something called ID here. So what is that? So this is the identification. So what is the property? How I can identify which filter I need to apply? So let's go back to the student, and here what we need to do, we need to implement an annotation called JSON filter, and you need to provide a name for it, like student details. So what happens? So whenever the filter applies, it will make sure whether this filter is available in the student, and then it will apply the filter on top of the DTO or entity. Okay, so what's the next thing? And we cannot send void response, right? We need to send the response back. So what we need to do, we need to retrieve the response from the filter, and we need to map as a Jackson value. So Jackson value, it works with the JSON data. It will send the proper response back to the clients. So how we're gonna do? We're gonna use the mapping. So we're gonna use the mapping Jackson value. So mapping is equal, and I'm gonna create a new Jackson mapping value. New mapping Jackson value, because we have the data in the filter, right? But we need to provide the information here. So mapping Jackson value will work against the data. This is the data which we retrieve, right? So we need to pass the data first. So now our So now our mapping Jackson value contains a list of data, and then we need to tell the Jackson value set filter, which means apply the filter, the data what you have. So now the mapping Jackson value contains all the students. It doesn't have any filter in it. So now I'm telling the mapping dot apply some filter, set filter. So which filter? Which we already created. That's it. So finally what I'm gonna do, just return the mapping. That's all. So but our method is a void method. So now we know what is the return type we need to pass. It's a mapping Jackson value, right? So let's stop the application and start it, and we'll go back to the Postman and see how it is impacting. So our application is started. So now all we need to do, just go back to our Postman. So instead of students, I'm gonna call the filter one. So which will give you this pretty much the same a response back, right? So send. Okay, something wrong. What is there here? Okay, the server is stopped but not started yet. So let's start it. Start the server. The server is started now. Let's go back to Postman and hit the same request. See what happened? We got the same outcome without the student ID. So you can apply multiple filter for the same DTO. So whenever you call this method, the response will contain only the first name, last name and the email. Think about this scenario. I want another kind of methodology. So whenever I call this particular method, I'll need only my first name and the email. Even I don't need the last name. So how we can do that? Let's simply copy paste the same method. And let's make a change in the method. It's going to be filter number 2 and I'll modify the method name. And here what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply remove the last name because I only need my first name and the last name, and we can keep everything else as same. So let's stop the server and start it again. Our server is up and running. Let's go back to the Postman and hit the same request again. Again, it will give you the first name, last name, email because I triggered the filter 1. Let's call the filter 2. See what happened? First name, email. Nothing else is there because the method which I'm using is a second filter which contains only this dynamic filter. So you can write your own filters as per your project requirement. So that is why this is advanced. That's why we have the advantage over the static filter. When you apply static filter, it doesn't matter how many number of methods you keep creating, but still the response is the same way. And when you're using apply dynamic filter, for each and every method, you can define what kind of output I need or what kind of elements I need in my response. Okay, so let's try it and let me know if you have any questions, and please leave your questions on the comments. Thank you.